Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Blerds show. I am Calibus Ran, and with me, of course, all the Blerds. We thought Jedi Joe was going to join us on this little occasion because we are talking one of the most iconic franchises there are in toys and cartoons and film, the Transformers. Very iconic, very well done. We bring this up. Let me just start by doing this, and I really kind of. They have a trailer coming out for it, but I don't think I can show the trailer because of what's going on. But this is what's they finally got to this era in the Transformers right here, and it is Beast. They finally got to the Beast Wars stuff. We get Jazz, who has Mirage's powers. I don't understand that. It's again one of those things. We got RC, but we have the Transformers Rise of the Beast, so they're bringing in Beast Wars. Again, I don't understand why these people do what they do when they do this type of stuff. They mix the Transformers up, and the ones that we loved so much are not the same as they were before. Now, sometimes that's a good thing. And other times it's,
it sucks.
Yeah.
So
I just got word from Marky Mark about Jedi Joe. I'm sending him another link. Let me see if he can get that. Let me see if I can get him in here. But until he does get in, what was your first introduction to the Transformers? And we're gonna start with Bishop.
Oh, come on! It was every day after school, came home. Transformers on was on the weekday afternoon cartoon block. So like you or anybody that grew up in the '80s, uh, you was running home to watch Transformers. You might get Batman. You might got some Looney Tunes. But yeah, that's how I was introduced to the Transformers. Just happened to just see a commercial for it, one afternoon, and like, oh, I gotta watch this, and came home on the appropriate day, and there we go. We see Optimus Prime and Megatron going at it. So yeah, that's how I was introduced to it.
That 5-day series run.
Yes,
Monday through Friday. All right.
Just like how they used to do the G.I. Joes.
Yeah. I think every cartoon that wanted to boost toy sales or create toy sales for their product did that. You know what I mean? They came out with this little 5-day run, and a lot of it had to be translated back in from Japanese. Marky Mark.
I got to agree with Bishop on that. So I remember seeing it. I guess the first episode was they were on Cybertron, and we got that introduction of all of the characters. Then they crash land on Earth, and they were stuck there for millions of years before the volcano erupted. And then the computer went out and started copying stuff to wake everybody up. So I absolutely love that. And then the toys came out, and I was like, I got to loved Optimus Prime, but I think for my friend, he got Starscream, and that was the coolest thing to see Starscream in the big thing. So to transform it took a while, but we were able to transform that and all the other characters. So that was my introduction to them when that show first aired.
All right, Rashad, what you got for me, brother?
yes, I think with Transformers, I believe I was introduced through the cartoon first, but I was all in just like I was with G.I. Joe regardless of the order, whether it was cartoon, toy, and comic, or toy, cartoon, or whatever. I mean, I was fully invested in on all three fronts. And I absolutely used to love the package artwork, especially like the battle scene on the back. And then they gave you the pamphlet inside of the. I'm talking about the toy packages. I'm sorry. You got the directions or instructions on how to label the stickers and how to transform it. Then you got they had their own version of a file card that came with a little infrared, uh, like tab that you could place over it on the back to see each and every one of their attributes and stuff. Man, it was awesome. And of course, they provided that packing slip that had all of the other Transformers in that line too. So, you can go crazy and beg your parents for, and load up on Christmas and all of that. So yeah, that was my experience. I love the comic book artwork also. Um, and and the voice acting of the cartoon was everything, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
you right about that. I mean, even in the movies, they definitely couldn't give us another voice for Prime.
Yeah.
Even though they gave us other voices for everybody else, but Prime had to have that voice. Jedi Joe,
Yeah.
glad you could join us, sir.
Thank you.
What's up,
Thank you
Jedi
for having
Joe?
me.
Your first dealings with the Transformers, how did you get involved in it? What was it? The cartoon, comics, the toys? Were you lucky enough to get a toy first, then see the cartoon? What was it?
Oh wow, y'all gonna get this one really good. I actually started watching GoBots first, and then all of a sudden, there I had friends of mine that were like, "Hey man, there's a better cartoon out there than the GoBots." So I was like, "Really?" And so I kind of switched over and started watching Transformers, and maybe had one or two GoBots, and remember my first two Transformers. Well, Gears was one, and then one year for Christmas, my mom and dad, oh my gosh, they went out and tried to get what they could for me. So I got Soundwave and Megatron, and that was great. The second year, I got all Autobots, so I got Prowl, Sunstreaker, you name it. It was all good, but yeah, GoBots actually turned me into a Transformer fan.
Yeah, they always, where we were always like GoBots were the poor man's Transformers. Everybody, because they only did this. You slid an arm out, you slid a leg out, and you push down this, and you flip the head over. You know what I mean? They were just so generic, the GoBots. And I remember watching it because I liked Psykill. I thought he was the coolest of the Go. I didn't care for Leader One.
I like
until
Crasher.
they had that you remember when they used to have Bigfoot and the monster truck rallies?
Mm-hmm.
And they said they had a transformable GoBot and it was Leader One.
Right.
They had this jet come down and actually sit there. I mean, it took forever, but he transformed and everything, and it was Leader One, and I thought that was cool. But other than that,
I remember that. I'll tell you, I was gonna say with the GoBots, I can't remember what the girl's name was. That was the evil one, the black
Crasher.
Yes,
Crasher. Yeah,
I love her.
Oh my God! Yeah, now I can hear his voice. When you said that, I could hear Psykill's voice calling her. Yeah,
I love that. And I watched the show as well because I loved her character. She was awesome. She was evil, but she knew what she was doing. So that she was perfect. And yeah, it was a cheap little thing, but I had one of those characters as well. I had her.
Yeah, I had a few.
I had Turbo.
I think
wanted Psykill, but I never could get him.
Don't fact check this for me, but I think Transformers assimilated GoBots. So just like with Mask is a division within GI Joe, I believe GoBots are a part of Transformers universe now.
Wait a minute, back that up. What, Mask in GI Joe?
Oh yeah.
I heard about that.
Into GI Joe. Yeah,
I've heard about that.
That's a real thing. They are like a sub. They're like a sub team within GI Joe, and I think GoBots are a part of the Transformers universe, man.
Oh, see, that's much respect. I didn't even know that. All right.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
hit me with something I didn't even know.
yeah. GoBots get a little more respect, man. You know, I laugh when you said the poor man's Transformers because they were a bit cheaper and smaller in size, but they had some cool toys. They just ain't had no guns, you know, and the toys didn't match the cartoon figures. Some like their facial features and stuff was different.
Well, what I
But
liked about them was their guns. You know, they shoot power from their fists and stuff. You
yeah,
know, when
yeah,
they
that
did
was
their
cool.
stuff. You know, because like I
But
said, I had
Transformers run, yeah.
Turbo, but I wanted
Yeah.
Sidekill bad. Never got him. Never got him. No matter what I asked for, it was like he was either sold out or my parents were like, nah. You know what I mean? But Transformers. So we get this 5-day episode, which turns into a series, which is great. The series runs for, I don't know, what, 4 or 5 seasons? And we get a movie. We get this movie. I am 16, sitting in this theater, and I hear Spike say, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do now?" And I lose it. I lose it. This movie was just such an epic thing. And then the scene of all scenes, Megatron must be stopped no matter the cost. And I'm sitting there going, Prime gonna take them all on. He gonna take them all out. The man died. Well, the robot dies. And I kind of felt like I think that was my first reaction, like kind of like the Han Solo reaction. Prime is gone. Long live the Decepticons. You know what I mean? They took my hero away and they replaced it with Hot Rod, which, you know, at the end of the movie, he takes the leadership of Matrix and he becomes the next hero. I love that part about him. I didn't like the fact that he still didn't want it. He didn't want to be leader. He just wanted to be carefree and all this other stuff. I didn't care about that part. But when they killed Prime, where were you? Were you in the theater, at home, watching this on video? What and your thoughts on it? I'm going to start with Jedi Joe, Marky Mark, and then Bishop, and we'll see if we can get Rashad back. Jedi Joe, where were you and your thoughts on watching Prime fall?
Oh man, I was with one of my closest friends at the time. We had gone to see it at the theater. It was the most heart wrenching thing for a teenager. I think we both were crying in the theater, to be honest with you. And we were like, "What the hell are they doing? This is not right." And like you said, Calibus, you know, the whole idea that the Transformers went from PG to rated R, and you heard Spike say, "Oh shit," you know, that was like, "Whoa, what? Where is this coming from?" You know, but to see Optimus Prime fall was like, you know, we got. And I'll be honest with you, and I know there's some fans out there that like Hot Rod and of course Rodimus Prime, but he just didn't do it for me. A camper truck. I'm sorry, he just didn't do it for me. Was I was actually more fond of Ultra Magnus, but yet, like in the movie, Ultra Magnus didn't really want it. So he had Prime's look, but he didn't have his heart. So that kind of was bumming me out too. So yeah, it was a devastating me move. Now I don't know if I'm going just a little too far, but you tell me to stop, Calibus, if I am. But when we went to the live action movie and they did the same freaking thing, I literally jumped up out of my seat at Cinema Cafe and say, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" And my wife was in tears. I was like, "Y'all are doing it again." So that's my take, gentlemen.
Marky Mark.
Oh,
All right,
oh man.
so I guess when it happened, I was with a friend as well, and I was in shock, but I kind of heard, because somebody else had saw it before I did, and they were like, "Yeah, Optimus Prime dies," and I'm like, at that point, I almost didn't want to see the movie at all because I was upset the idea that Optimus Prime was killed off, and then Rodimus Prime, it wasn't the same at all. It was totally different. Um, I am so glad after that they still brought Optimus back. But then the idea that if you're gonna, you're getting rid of Optimus Prime and you're getting rid of Megatron, but then he becomes what is his name?
Galvatron.
Galvatron. Yes. And I'm like, why would you do that but not bring back Optimus as Optimus some kind of way? But you totally gonna get rid of him. So I didn't like that part. The movie in itself I thought was visually fantastic, and it was adult. It was not that kid stuff that I'd seen. So I was happy about that. Just not happy that Optimus died, but glad he was finally able to come back. And like Jedi Joe said, when they did it in the live action, I'm like, I hope they don't have no, Rodimus Prime coming up with another truck like that because I did not want to see that either. So all in all, it's pretty good. The movie was fantastic. The cartoon after that really changed. It wasn't as great as it was prior to the movie, but it was still okay show. So yeah, that's the only thing I got to say about that.
Okay, Bishop.
All I'm gonna say is about the Transformers the movie, the animated movie. I was in the theater, and when they killed Optimus, I was just like, I felt like they had just killed James T. Kirk. I was like, oh my god. I was ready to walk out of the theater, and I don't know if you guys remember, up leading up to the Transformers movie, they were doing like these little well, at least where I was living in Washington State, they were doing like these commercials, like for Transformers, like go see Transformers the movie, blah 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 blah. And looking back up on life now, it seems like they were kind of like taking a page out of the pre WWE of promoting the movie within the commercials of the cartoon. And like I said, I was there at the theater. I'll never forget it. When they killed him, I was like, oh my God, what now? I remember like the next weeks after the movie, watching the cartoon, and Optimus was not there in the cartoon. And I'm just like, oh my God, what have they done? It was like my childhood was shattered. And I was really mad with them for a long time. Even when they brought him back, I was still kind of like, y'all killed Optimus Prime. Y'all killed Optimus Prime. I was hurt. I was
Yeah,
mad. I was mad.
they bring him back, and they bring back Bumblebee as Goldbug, and they empty the Matrix. But they bring him back. You know why they brought him back? Because all this was for toy sales. They killed
Yep.
him
Yep.
to push their new line of toys out, and the fans backlashed. The fans backlashed, and that's why we got Prime back. All right, Rashad, where were you when Optimus
Dude,
died, and your feelings on it, brother?
I can tell you where I was at. I know I felt betrayed, and I was like, dude, you, he's the hero. Like, it makes no sense. And then you replace him with a guy that doesn't want it, a camper truck. That's so funny, Jedi Joe, because I always thought that, Hot Rod was sweet, but you had a viable replacement in Ultra Magnus because he was an awesome toy. Cartoon wise, he was a huge figure, but for whatever reason, man, you just decided to give it to another dude. All right, whatever. But I just realized in this moment that I have been upset about that and have made Transformers pay for it ever since because I like none of the movies. I mean, I was excited when the first movie came out and I heard the voice and the guy said, hey, you know, I'm Optimus Prime, but outside of that, I didn't feel like any of the movies were decent until Bumblebee because that was a direct reflection of what I kind of thought Transformers should be live action. But in the same sense, I've seen all the movies, so you know, hypocritical there. But um, I admire Transformers because they always figured out a way to bring in and usher in a new generation of fans. So I'm going to say, I'm a G1 fan of Transformers up until the movie. After the movie, I tried to give the Cybertronian futuristic future of Transformers cartoon a chance. Hey, you just didn't have Optimus Prime. Galvatron, like Mark said, he wasn't it. What kind of weapon is he? You just a cannon. Like Megatron transformed him into a gun. The other Decepticons could wield him and shoot down other Autobots. Like it's a whole different thing. I know he on a power scale, Galvatron is better, but it was just whack at that point, and I was pretty much over it. But then years later, you hear murmurs of different Transformers storylines. Then you hear about Beast Wars. And I'm like, damn, Beast Wars, okay, that's interesting. I didn't get involved with it, but they have a fan base just as large as, you know, the Generation One. And that's when I realized, okay, I started paying attention more. You guys brought back Optimus Prime. Okay, well, it's cool again. But I just always felt betrayed. I never trusted the line anymore. As an adult, I've been considering collecting Transformers because the toy down, oh man, the toys are so damn sweet. Like, they're articulate. They look like the cartoon, but transform as well. That's dope. But I don't know. I just always feel like they'll stab me in the back as soon as I re, I reinvest in them. So I mean, I'm still traumatized by the death of Optimus Prime, and yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it, man.
No, man, I get it. I get it. Because you should have seen me and my boy. We were in there and we just like, man, Prime is gone. I definitely feel you on that one.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, it just I can remember my first toy. My first Transformer was Trailblazer.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and the wheel broke off. Or
That
I
was the
glued that wheel
black
back on.
GMC or something like that.
Yeah. That was the
Yeah.
first one I ever got. Eventually I worked my way up and I got a Prime.
Okay.
Then of course I got when the movie came out, I got Hot Rod and everything else, but my favorite was Grimlock. The Dinobots are my favorite Autobots. Okay. Devastator is my favorite Decepticons. I love Devastator. I love the Combiners. But Devastator, we were driving and I had just seen Devastator on TV. My parents had to go somewhere and we drove by a construction site and I saw green construction vehicles. And I'm like, that's Devastator. You know what I mean? That blew my mind as a kid seeing that. I'm like, oh my God, that's Devastator.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? So he's always been my favorite. What is your favorite Decepticon or Autobot Decepticon group? Let me start with Marky Mark.
All right, so I like the Insecticons. I love those characters. I even like the Dinobots. I thought they were cool. I'm trying to think. The one I absolutely enjoyed, and I can't even remember his name either, but he was a spaceship, then he turned into the train, and
Omega
Astro
Supreme.
Train.
Yes, I love that. That was one of my favorite characters right there. Absolutely.
Triple Changer. Yeah.
Triple Changer. Yeah, that was.
Was
there.
He was a Decepticon, right?
Yeah.
No, he was an Autobot.
No, not Astro.
No, he was a Decepticon.
Oh, he was.
You had Skylink.
Are you talking about? I think he's talking about the Titan. I think he's talking about Omega Supreme.
Or Skylynx.
Skylink. That's who it is. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Astro Train was a Decepticon. He was the one that they're all inside of.
Yes. Okay.
When Starscream throws out Megatron.
Yeah.
I still function.
Yeah. I forgot about Astro Train. Astro Train was tight. I love that character.
That was when they came out with the Triple Changers, like Blitzkrieg.
And
Astro
then
Train.
Yeah. So Astro Train was off. Yeah, I love that. and then like you said, the one that the Autobot one that was huge because he was big that everything was in because he took the I know he took the Dinobot somewhere inside of him, and then
Yeah,
they were going
it
from
was a
planet to
rocket ship.
planet at one point.
Right.
In other episodes.
All right, Jedi Joe, your favorite Autobot or Decepticon or both of them?
Well, shoot. If we're gonna have some, we might as well do a little bit of both. So, of course, Optimus Prime was the favorite. On the Autobot side, thoroughly enjoyed Jazz. Just just his sound and how he talks. He
Yeah.
was just his first lieutenant. I gotta go with him. And then on the Decepticon side, it was of course Megatron and Starscream. And um, man, Calibus, you talking about Devastator? He was pretty cool. But on the Autobot side, I like the aerial bots.
Oh yeah.
And
They were
then
sweet.
on the Decepticon side, you had Starscream's creation, the Stunticons, where one was a small Freightliner truck and turned into Bruticus, which
Yeah.
he was, you know,
Yeah.
he's not the very smartest thing like the Dinobots, but there was a handful of them I thoroughly enjoyed, and they were that.
That's funny you should say that because I remember that episode. Because Prime said they want to battle us on the ground, we'll battle them in the air, and he created they got the aerial bots.
Yep.
All right. Bishop, yeah. Go ahead, Bishop. Did you do yours already? Your two?
No, my favorite is Jazz. Being played by Scatman Crothers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so that was my favorite by far. I mean, because Prime, Prime is like, well, everybody likes Prime, but my favorite though was absolutely still to this day was Jazz. So when they killed him in the first Michael Bay movie, I was hot, and I'm like, well, then for two reasons. One, he didn't look like Jazz; he wasn't a Porsche, and
There you
two,
go.
they couldn't resurrect Scatman Crothers, but he still didn't sound like Jazz to me. But my favorite Decepticon has always been Starscream.
hey
I mean,
Bishop.
yes.
Hey Bishop, it was like killing Prime all over again,
Oh
huh?
God, yes. But yeah, Starscream. I mean, I just love the way how he always was weaseling his way behind Megatron's back. And look, Megatron. Everybody knew Megatron was. You don't mess with Megatron. But Starscream was just like, I'm just going to keep poking with him. Just keep
Right.
poking with him. And I mean, Megatron liked to blame Starscream for the failure of his plans, but perhaps it was Megatron's, it was his fault in the first place.
Well, I mean, he rectified that as Galvatron. Megatron,
Oh
is
yeah,
that you?
yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
the hint.
Here's
He
a
lit
hint.
him up. Lit him up, and that crown came rolling down, and he squished it at his feet.
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy never sounded more ominous than he did when he was Galvatron.
No,
Absolutely.
you're right.
That was a
I mean,
hard
I
ass
thought
intro.
that was
Work.
cool.
Yeah.
Richard, your favorite, or your favorites, I should say.
I got to start with the Decepticon since I'm villain first in everything I do. I was like, I like the Predacons, and they formed Predaking. They were combiners. They were all animals, Earth-based animals. And their color scheme was like orange, yellow, and black, and with touches of red. And they transformed into Predaking, a super powerful combiner robot. It came like in a later era of Transformers, probably I would say after the movie or right before the movie or something like that.
Wasn't Predaking like an ancient combiner like from the Dinobots era?
Yeah, I
Not
think
in,
He was
not
animals.
Yeah.
not the G1 toy. Maybe so in the movies. I'm not sure, but they were animals. They were they were like a rhinoceros, a bull, a lion, a puma, and like a
Right, but I'm
condor or
saying, but
something. I don't think,
weren't they ancient?
not that I know of, but that
Okay,
could have changed. But
okay.
listen, there's so many different versions of Transformers nowadays. That could be. But when I was coming up, they came afterwards. So I really don't know if the origin story has changed. Um, Now, my favorite, also, I got to split my Decepticons. My first true love was Soundwave and all of the cassettes. Frenzy, Rumble, Laserbeak, Buzzsaw, Ravage, Rat Bat. I mean, there's so many of them, and I love Soundwave, and I love his voice.
I was gonna say the
So I
voice was the best thing about him, right? When he
damn
said
right.
it and pushed the button, that was awesome.
But I'm gonna tell you the best characteristic
Yeah.
that Soundwave had was loyalty. I don't give a damn what version of Transformers it is. He will never betray Megatron, and he is,
Mhm.
unflinching loyalty. As you command, he's going to follow his duty. He's loyal to Megatron. He makes sure that when we're in the field and there's a mission going on, Megatron don't have to do nothing but stand here. I'm giving
Yeah.
directions. You know what I'm saying? So he was totally loyal. Um, my favorite Autobot though, not to drag it out. Damn. Um, um, there were a few. I like Perceptor. I know that's kind of weird. I loved him as
Yep.
a toy. He didn't really fight a lot on the cartoon, and I like Ironhide because he was a tough dude.
Hmm.
He was like, I guess, the equivalent of Soundwave as far as the loyalty. Because he was the only one that he called him Prime.
Yeah.
And he was a field general. He was a tough, tough
Well,
character. So
well, you know something, Rashad? I tell you somebody else, since you said that about loyalty, I
yeah,
think that Shockwave was also very loyal to Megatron as well.
yeah, he was. At times he had his own agenda, though. I felt
Yeah.
like, but he was up to some grimy shit sometimes, Jedi Joe. But I don't think anyone is more loyal than Soundwave. But you definitely right. For him to be on Cybertron and Megatron to give him orders and he do it, he definitely
Because
displayed a certain amount of loyalty.
he controlled the space bridge there
Right.
from Cybertron to wherever they wanted to go.
Yep.
And so when you said that about loyalty, that really made me think about Shockwave for some reason or another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think we had that epic battle though. We had Blaster versus Soundwave
Soundwave.
Yep.
for the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
In the
I
movie.
thought that was kind of cool. And now of course, like Rashad said, and speaking of that, Rashad is in the best place for all this because he works at Yester Toys and it
Oh
is
man,
packed with Transformers.
it's
Um,
hard.
the
Oh,
the
I'm sorry. Can
my
I amend my favorite?
Go ahead,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I just remember my absolute favorite Autobot was Jetfire. My fault, dude. I'm playing myself if I didn't
Everybody
come
loves
back and fix
Jetfire.
that. No, Jetfire
Look,
was awesome because the toy was really like a Veritech fighter from Robotech,
yes, yes,
but it had all the shielding and the extra rocket boosters and everything on it, man. But then later years with the line of Jetfire that they have out now, listen, dude, it's on another level. Like Jetfire is awesome. Yeah, that was my favorite Autobot. I'm sorry. Right, go ahead and continue, man. My fault.
no, I was getting ready to say that they, like you said, they changed it up, and now the
Yeah,
Transformers, the ones we had, are so obsolete compared to what they have now.
yeah,
One of my favorite Autobot stories from the cartoon was the one with Omega Supreme.
yeah.
And I could never afford to get one being a kid. And when I got older, I lost kind of interest up until a few weeks ago because I knew we were talking about it. And I saw the new upgraded version of Omega Supreme. I
Hmm.
still want that. You know what I'm saying? Something from the childhood. I mean, it's just more articulate than what we had because all he did was go around this track and he had the little rocket ship thing and everything else. But
Yeah,
now it's more moving parts. I'm pretty sure it's got some
fully
sounds.
posable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're so
So
they're so detailed now. You could tell. Like I feel like they got NASA engineers building transformer toys now. They're so intricate, man, and fully posable. Highly detailed. They transform and they look exactly like the vehicle, but the robot looks just like the robot in the cartoon. You can
yeah,
pose them different ways. Like, yeah, they're great.
man, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. All right, we get past this. We get past what the like G1, of course, and then it goes into time. Uh, just before it moves on just before the movie, and then after the movie, we get this whole thing. Hot Rod, we find out Hot Rod doesn't want to be Hot Rod. Prime is back, and then they start doing all this Beast Wars and all kinds of other crazy stuff with the Transformers. Michael Bay shows up on the scene for the first time. We get this glimpse at Bumblebee, and I'm looking at my kids, but that's not Bumblebee. They're like, yeah, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. It is. I swear to you, it is not. This is not Bumblebee. And I couldn't understand why he would do that, but of course I can. We're going to give you these cars for your Transformer movies, and that's going to make our car sales. Everybody's going to want a Bumblebee car out there on the road. And I swear to you, after that movie, that was the most recommendable. That yellow Camaro on the car was every effing where.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on the Michael Bay movies? Let's go with Marky Mark first.
Okay, so when the movie first came out, I was so excited, especially because I knew you could hear Megatron. Well, not even Megatron, but Optimus Prime, and it sounded like Optimus Prime. And then the truck was fantastic. I was upset, and I still don't even understand why Bumblebee, again, is a Camaro. It's okay, I love Camaros. Why doesn't he talk? Where's his voice? I don't even understand why he can't talk. That part I don't like. I also don't like with the movies, they don't have any type of flow to them. They come up with one story. The next movie is just this next movie, even though they're using the same characters. And then they're trying to make it combine with the other movie, and it does not combine well at all. The second movie was just a military movie that happened to have Transformers in it. The third movie, now there's a whole new story that I don't know where they came up. I guess that one was the one where the Transformers have been here again for decades, and they met Merlin, or no, that's the wrong one. One of these, it's so confusing. Why did they do that? Now all of a sudden, the last movie was Bumblebee came here in the '70s. He was the Volkswagen that he was supposed to be, and he had no voice, and he's here and he's fighting the other Decepticons. I mean, I watch them, they're okay, but they are what they are. I still like them just because you get to see the transformation, but they're not what I really want to see. I wish somebody would come up with a better story for this and just go with that and just skip all the other crap that's out there.
Okay, I can agree with that. Bishop, your take on the Michael Bay Transformers?
The scene in Bumblebee, the intro scene, or the scene where Bumblebee is in the forest with the young girl Haley Steinfeld, or whatever her name is, and you get to see the war that's going on Cybertron. That is the best. That is the best part of the Michael Bay's movies. Is that part right there? Because
Yeah,
to
right.
me, that was Transformers.
Finally
uh,
with Transformers.
yeah, that all that other stuff we got. The battle in Detroit and all of that stuff. The bounty hunter, Transformer, and that was cool and it was entertaining, but it wasn't Transformers.
Okay. All right. Jedi Joe, I'm going to save Rashad for last because I got a feeling we're going to really hear some stuff.
Okay. I'm not hopefully I'm gonna probably not be liked very much, so I'll go ahead and talk. So I had a young son. He was loving the new Transformers. He even dressed up as the new Optimus Prime when we went to go see it. So with that being said, I actually kind of, you know, lean towards it. But yes, I agree. Michael Bay kind of had his own little storytelling, but I think what kept it going for me and why I liked it, at least the first maybe one or two of them, was the fact that Peter Cullen was the voice of Optimus Prime. And then, of course, Frank Welker was the voice of Megatron. I think that is the only two things to me that kept me thinking G1. So, but and I'll agree with everybody. Michael Bay, he's tried so hard to come to this, make this story, do this, bring different stars to hit the big thing. But um, Bumblebee, the new one, and then everything's coming off of that Bumblebee there. I think that's going to be the new restart for Transformers. And hopefully, all of us older guys and girls that like the G1, maybe that's our comeback, because Michael Bay did not do it. Did not do it as well as he probably should have. He should have kept with the comics.
Okay. All right, Rashad, go ahead.
Dude, straight dumpster juice. How about that, man? All right. Now, I'm going to applaud them on doing one thing right. And I think this was because they betrayed us in the past. You damn right, you better have the original voice actor to do Optimus Prime in the very first live action film. All right. So that made me feel good. After that, oh my God, I'm just nitpicking everything because, first of all, you got Transformers I've never even heard of in the movies. All right. That transform into vehicles I don't even recognize. You got other characters that turn into one car that they got the wrong name. I mean, uh, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, the best part of these Transformers Michael Bay movies, in my opinion, like Bishop said, was that flashback scene to the War of Cybertron and John Turturro, his role that he had there, where he was some like what CIA level alien investigator or something like that. He was entertaining. That was just a total disappointment for me because I was, like I said, they betrayed me as a child, and I could never forgive them. So I mean, it just never was like that. You turn Transformers into a damn, a car sales ad, pretty much. Like I could tell they were being guided by the endorsements that they were receiving for these cars. That was pretty much it. Like I felt like it was a Fast and Furious movie. It gave you what you wanted as far as, a summertime bang bang shoot 'em up, a bunch of explosions, take the kids by the popcorn or whatever. He did his job, Michael Bay did. But other than that, as far as the storyline and advancing Transformers, well, he brought in a new generation of fans. So, hey, he did more bad than good. But me, as an original G1 fan, it never lived up to it, and I remain disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had to agree with you. I got to be honest with you. I saw Grimlock in the when they were bringing in the Dinobots. I was all excited, and then I saw what they were doing with it, and reluctantly, I sat down with my son to watch it, and I just couldn't. Bumblebee was passable. The only passable thing I think there, the movie Bumblebee movie. But like you said, I don't get it. Why were we, like you said, you keep transporting me back from the 60s to 70s, and I don't get it. I don't even understand that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
sorry.
I'm not checking
I'm
out
sorry.
Beast Wars at all. The new Beast movie. I'm check. I can't do it.
I mean, but you kind of hooked on the dope by now, Calibus. You're gonna have to look at something, bro. You're not gonna be able to resist it, man. 'Cause, I mean,
That
I'm
one
be honest with you. I'm not
that
a
one
fan
looks
of
pretty
any of the Michael
good.
Bay. It does, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't like any of the Michael Bay movies, but for some reason, I got a ticket stub for every single one of them. I mean, I was about to curse. I was about to touch this then, dude. So I mean, I can't sit here and tell you, oh man, I'm never gonna watch Beast Wars. Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch Beast Wars.
Oh no,
And
no.
then I'm gonna
Michael Bay
talk.
movies are at summer blockbuster spectacles. He knows how to
Yeah,
pull butts in seats.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
Oh,
still
no,
saying,
no,
but
I can tell you now. Look, I'm not buying a ticket for it. Now, my
Okay.
thing is jailbroke. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
oh yes,
I'm not.
right.
I'm not giving Michael Bay my money.
That ain't how it works.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
visually, they're great movies. It's the stories that suck when you
Yeah.
think about. And that,
Yeah.
when I look at this, I'm like, the story's going to suck on this one too, because where the hell did these beasts come from that have been on planet Earth the whole time? And all of a
Big-ass
sudden,
robot.
oh my God, now you got to come up with this story. So,
Now, see, I honestly believe they'll probably have a better story than the Michael Bay storylines.
well, I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully they've learned their lesson to make the Transformers movies about the Transformers and not humans.
Yeah.
Well, the
I
only
mean-
other good
Go ahead.
thing is at least they're bringing Peter Culling back as the voice of Optimus Prime. At least that's the good
Well,
thing.
they have
Bro,
to.
we've already said you can't.
They have
You
to.
can't do
Yeah.
anybody else's voice and say that's
No.
Prime.
Yeah.
It just don't work. It just.
Yeah.
Never
That would
forget
be
also,
just like killing them over again, right?
definitely, but never
Oh
forget also,
God!
they made
Oh man,
Jetfire.
I just thought about
an
that.
old man with a
Now
cane.
I have to see that. Marky Mark brought up a good point. Now that they
Correct.
got this 8 Prime, are they gonna kill him off again?
I don't think so.
Nah, they
I don't think
coexist.
so.
That's Optimus Primal, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Optimus
He's a
Prime.
Prime. Yeah,
Primal.
so he's Optimus Primal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Mhm.
mm-mm.
Not to go back, I just want to remind you guys that they made Jetfire into an old man stealth bomber with a fucking cane. Okay,
Oh
excuse
yeah.
my language.
Yeah.
Now we can. Yeah, I forgot that.
That-
I
yeah,
forgot
I
to
forgot
remind
about
y'all
that.
that.
I think I read
Yeah,
that
he
in
was
the
a
comic
stealth
book.
bomber in the Smithsonian Museum, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read that in the
They
comic
sprinkle
book.
some dust on him, and then he transformed into an old man Autobot that was actually a
He
villain
was
and had a mustache
SR-71.
and beard and a cane,
Yeah.
dude.
So he was
Yeah.
actually an SR-71 is what he was.
Your boy
Mhm.
did that.
And then
Goddamn
he
Michael Bay.
transformed into the old guy, and his
Oh
legs go
God!
off.
Yeah. Now we can move forward.
Oh man! Nah, look. Oh God!
Oh.
No.
One other thing. They made Bumblebee like the greatest Autobot warrior and all of this BS, man. Bumblebee used to get his ass kicked in the cartoon,
Handed to
dude.
him. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
he changed it to him.
Matter of fact,
Constantly.
right.
Constantly.
He was never sweet. He did reconnaissance and he did spy missions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And he was a good liaison between humans and Autobots and all of that BS. Cool. He was the Volkswagen. He was sort of like, but he was like, he wasn't even Robin the Batman. He was like, homie. I was trying to say, yo, come on, little homie. Like, you can roll with us, man. You cool. You know what I'm saying? Just stay out the way. Go in the house when they start shooting. That's kind of how they handle Bumblebee. But in these movies, he's like Achilles from Troy. Like, dude,
Yeah.
get the hell out of here, man. I'm sorry, man. Y'all go ahead, dude.
No, man, no. I love hearing when you got to break off something because you
man.
come with it. So no, I mean, look, you told me about Jetfire. I'm just amazed I didn't even know that. Now I'm really disappointed. But again, Mr. Bay will not receive my money. I'll be here on the pirated high seas of my VPN watching his movie because I'm not giving him my money. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
watch this movie is probably gonna be the best Transformer movies now that we sitting here talking crazy.
Yeah,
You know?
it might.
Yeah. I hope so, man.
That would be
Look,
great if it is.
yeah, that's true. I mean, we'll get some more action figures and stuff out there. Something a little bit cooler for us to look at and marvel at. But
Yeah.
well, gentlemen, look, we've hit a good note with the Transformers. We got 2 weeks to come up with another topic. Anybody want to throw something out there? Anytime.
Dude,
You done this?
I've been watching your other shows, And you've been talking a lot of Star Wars talk, but the Blerds haven't had a lot of Star Wars talk, dude. We talk about Star Wars about other topics, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
but we
Okay,
ain't
you
really
want to do
talked
something
about
Star Wars?
because they made a
Star
lot
Wars.
of announcements during celebration. You know, Mandalorian's being, doing its
Okay.
thing. Ahsoka's about to come out. That's just a
And
suggestion, but
no. I mean, I like it. Unless anybody else. Anybody else got anything? Because that's right up the alley that I'm trying to climb right now. I'm trying to go down that alley. I'm trying to go down that road. What we got? Blerds talk some Star Wars.
That works.
Yeah.
Huh? Bishop? What? Look, what, Bishop? What's the
What is the
matter?
topic?
We could talk about
uh,
the announcements. We could talk
the
about
future of Star
where's the
Wars.
return of Mace
The future
Windu.
of the future of Star Wars that it sucks with Ray.
Mm.
Come
Dude.
on, dude. I got some to speak to about that.
Oh, see?
Yeah, they're
I'm
gonna
not
do.
really
She's gonna get her own movie that shows what took place 10 years after the
15.
last trilogy.
15
Oh, it's
years.
15.
15.
Good. So they're gonna clean up a few things and make it respectable. I feel like. I hope.
If it's still under Kathleen
It depends
Kennedy,
on
I don't
who's
believe it.
writing it, you know.
Oh no!
Hey,
This
listen.
time she's greater than Luke and
No,
She
Leia
was
put
great.
together.
According to them, she's been greater than Luke. I don't know what you're
Well,
talking
and
about.
I'm saying Leia and Luke
Whoa.
together. Because
oh
no,
yeah.
she is a Palpatine, but going by the name of Skywalker.
Hey,
Yep.
listen. They better
What
figure out
about
a way to
speaking
get
your
another
truth,
Skywalker back
women?
up in the storyline because they made a mistake by killing the Skywalker line. It doesn't make sense to have Star Wars without a Skywalker. You can branch off and have other characters and flesh them out. That's cool. But we talk about these main movies. Somebody that better named Skywalker better be flying a ship or running for president or doing something like.
Yeah, for
That's my
me,
opinion.
I wish they would just hop off of the Skywalker completely. Let's just go with something in the past. There's
Okay.
thousands of years. Let's look at
Yeah.
Yoda as a Padawan or something like that.
Right.
Or my favorite storyline always is still going to be Darth Bane coming up with the rule of two. So
I
why
look.
can't we do
Yes.
something with that?
Mine would be Revan,
Darth
but we're gonna
Bane.
save this.
Revan, I
We're gonna
love
save
that
Uh,
this.
too.
We're gonna save this for May
Oh,
7th, gentlemen. May
okay.
7th.
Oh, I won't be here.
What?
I'll be on vacation for a week.
Man,
Sorry.
come on, man. They
Look,
got Wi-Fi where you going, man.
look. He ain't had nothing to say. He ain't had nothing to say anyway. We
Or
gonna
use
go
that
on without
vacation
you,
stuff
bruh.
with us. Listen, man. Let your wife know the guys need you for what?
You
Like
gonna
An
get a
45
hour.
cruise?
minutes? We're gonna
So
say
again,
45, but we're really gonna take an hour. You know?
Yeah, hour
look, I
15
probably
at the
won't even
most.
be able to get reception.
Well, it
Okay.
only takes about 5 minutes anyway, so don't worry about the 45 minutes.
Look, that's all
Oh,
right.
that's
She
terrible.
better get hers.
All
Oh,
right,
fellas,
guys. Look,
I
Bishop.
wanted to. Can I share with you some good modern Transformers content?
Yeah,
Calibus,
go
I
ahead.
might need your help. Um, there were shorts made that used to air on Tumblr and like YouTube. It's called Transformers Combiner Wars. They
I
got
heard
three
about that.
separate. It's a trilogy. Combiner Wars is one of them. But Calibus, if you look it up, you'll see the name: The Titans Return, Combiner Wars, and it's another one I can't remember. But guys, if you watch that, man, those are some dope Transformers stories, and it's a futuristic Transformer story, but it's so cool. You can find it on YouTube for free, and yeah, it was really dope. The voice acting needs a little help, but you can tell that's really Optimus Prime. They got Megatron, Starscream, and those guys, and it takes place on Cybertron in the future. It's really tight, so I would recommend that.
Was
Check
it
it out.
a stop?
I was going to
What
say
was that?
that it's. I think it was on what is it? Originally aired on Go 90 or G90 was the TV show.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I watched it when it was on that, and it was like 10-minute episodes. So
Man, it's
that was
tight.
fantastic.
It was tight.
Also, even what was it? There was one that came out about 10 years ago that was on not what channel was that? They were still on Cybertron, still an updated version of the Transformers. They only had like five, Autobots, but they, still fighting against Megatron and all of them. Those were half an hour kid shows when they finally made it to Earth, and I don't remember what the name of that show was, but it was on. It was on like Fox Family before it changed. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
that
the
was a good
Netflix.
show too.
Oh, yeah, Netflix had a dope Transformers
It was
trilogy
the
also.
animated one.
Yeah, it was dope. It was an animated one. That was kind of
Yeah.
cool.
So they've come out with some really good shows that have been
Yeah.
around recently.
Hey, they bring it. They do a great job of bringing in new fans, man. They have a future.
Correct. But yeah, really, it's not like they're advertising it everywhere. So,
Right.
it's hard to find those shows.
Yeah, I just found the on YouTube Transformer Combiner Wars: A War of Giants. It's only like 6 minutes.
Yeah. Combiner
They were like-
Wars, Titans Return. I can't remember the name of the other one, man. It's a trilogy, man. I don't know. I'm gonna put the episodes in the link when I
Please.
get in the crib. Yeah, it's sweet. Like,
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. That's it. I'm gonna send you a link that has all the episodes, and it's like I said, it's a trilogy. It's 3 different series. They all work go in unison. They all are pretty dope. So
Yeah, like you said, the most of them are. It's no more than 10 minutes long, and that's only 6 minutes right
Yeah.
there. So.
Well, I just found
you
one
can watch
that said.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I just found one
Prime Wars.
that said
Yeah.
Transformer Combiner Wars, the full movie, 2016, and it's almost an hour long.
Yeah. Yeah. Some are putting that information in the chat. Prime Wars, Combiner Wars, something. Yeah. I'll find it and send you guys a link.
I want to thank Mr. Paul Rice, made by Rice 3D Studios. He's going to be working with us on a giveaway coming soon. It was season 3, episode 10. He was telling us. But see,
Okay.
I gotta tell you guys, I need to get back into some of these things. There's certain Transformers I want back, of course. You know what I mean? Devastator, Omega Supreme is definitely one of them. And I want my Dinobots. You know what I mean? I love my Dinobots. But all right, guys. Bishop may not be with us May 7th, sir. I can't hold it back. May 7th. We'll tumble on without you if you're not here. But we're gonna talk some Star Wars. But I kind of got your gist anyway. Me and you are the same. Me and you know what's kind of bad about Star Wars right about now, and but we're gonna try to put this spin on it. See what good Rashad got to say. Marky Mark, Jedi Joe, you're more than welcome to join us. It's a Star Wars conversation. Your name is Jedi Joe, so you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
If anybody else out there that wants to come on the Blerds show, we are opening our doors. You can come in, sit in with us, talk, chew the fat. We are an adult conversation, so F-bombs can be dropped. So if you're offended by language or the occasional, man, you crazy, you shouldn't be here.
Well, hell, if Transformers can do it, we can.
I hear that. All right,
and that
guys.
was a kids show.
I know, right? All right. So then, with that being said, it is time for us to go. I would leave you with a nice little something, but I don't have anything to close out the show with.
Oh! I got one for you.
All right, go ahead.
It's from Transformers the movie. You got the touch.
Oh. You got
Look, I thought he was gonna say Blerds, roll out, but all right, guys.
man.
I'll see you May 7th. Have a good one.
All right, guys.